Hey everyone, this is going to be my review for White Boy Rick. Quick summary: it is totally rated R. A lot of language, some sexual content. Quick summary: it's based off the true story of a man named, a teenager named Rick in the 1980s in Detroit with his father and his sister. His father's sort of an arms dealer. And he sells to like gangs in Detroit, and his son kind of picks up the behavior. But these FBI crew is trying to catch this huge gang in Detroit, and they are using Rick to basically spy on them, and they start giving him drugs to sell so they can follow like the drug trail, and he becomes actually really good at it. And to the point where he starts to do it for real, and then like he gets caught. And then he goes to jail. So, spoiler alert. Alright, so here's my quick summary. This is actually the worst movie I've seen all year. I know it's based off of a true story. I don't care. It wasn't told very well. One, it's unreliable because in the end, you want to feel sorry for the kid. But the movie sets him up as his father and him has these con artists and these liars. And they always try to make themselves look good. So now I'm wondering, I know the real guy, Rick, is the one that kind of helped write this whole story, but he's an unreliable guy to tell the story. He's going to obviously put his father in a good light, and I don't know how much I can really, really believe about this story. Second, so the trailers led me to believe, like, I didn't know the story at all. I didn't know the true story whatsoever, but the trailers led me to believe that this was going to be like kind of a fun con type true story, kind of like a teenager becoming a spy and, going into all these gangs, and he's going to trick them, and it's going to be this fast-paced, fun story, and it wasn't. The trailers totally lied. The movie was actually really boring. That maybe it was too slow, or I don't know. It was just like there was no like good. I don't know. Just the story was boring to me. I was more tempted to like text during it. Like I would go to the side and start like just texting and whatever because I was just bored by the story. Now, this movie does take place in Detroit in the 1980s. Now, I grew up in Michigan, southeastern Michigan, right outside Detroit. It's part of my life. But I was a toddler during all of this, so of course I didn't really know about it. But it was really cool for me to see like the neighborhood of Detroit because I'm remembering as a kid visiting relatives and my parents' friends in Detroit, and those were the houses I remember. Those are what the streets look like, and that's what they do still look like. And there is this culture in Detroit that they do touch on that I did appreciate is Rick keeps on asking his father. He says, "Why are we still here? Why do we stay in Detroit? Why don't we just go someplace else that could be better for us?" And he's like, the father says, no. A lion doesn't leave his den. A lion tries to become the king where he's at. He doesn't leave. And it's a mentality that's in Detroit. Detroit has some really hard times. I mean, 80s were bad. 90s weren't that better either. And Detroit's finally starting to pick up. But there are people like that just stuck around. They are very proud to be, in Detroit, no matter how bad it is. It could be like, and you stay in your house. These people stay in their house, and there could be drug dealers and shootings every day on their street. Yet they don't move because they're like, this is home. This is where I live. I'm not moving, even though it's so dangerous. But that's like the mentality of people who live in Detroit still. It's a lot better, and I'm glad the people who want to make it their home are improving Detroit because it's getting a ton better. But it wasn't really good in the 80s, and it really wasn't good in the 90s either. It was really actually dangerous. So they did touch on that like mentality, like I'm not moving, this is where I'm staying, instead of my family, my daughter's ODing, my son is now becoming a huge drug lord, but I don't want to move my family away. And it's just that's what it's like. All right, some other criticisms why this is the very bottom of my list is that So the movie takes place. It starts out in 1984 and it goes to 1987. So all the the story takes place multiple multiple through the years. But I was really annoyed because every single shot that took place outside, I could tell was filmed in April, because it was that snowy, melty snow season. And the melty snow season is like the end of March into April. Most of April is melty snow season. And that's what every single shot of outside that took place in Michigan was like. And I was just like, if this was filmed over 5 years, couldn't you have gotten a shot in the really nice summery season when it was beautiful out there? Or even the beautiful fall season? I was annoyed. I was very annoyed. Now, here's the other thing I was really annoyed at was the really poor editing. And it would be like, there's a scene where somebody pulled off in a car and this person's watching the person pull off in the car, and they stood on this person, like the camera just stayed on this person, watching the car go, and the car was out of the shot, and there's a person, and we're still like looking at the person looking at the street, reacting. And I was like, is there more to the scene? What was going on? Why are we still looking at this person reacting? And then it would go to the next scene. I was just like, that was a 30 seconds of pure one person looking at somebody drive down the street and reacting. And that's unnecessary. And it happened like 20 times in the film. Like really, really bad editing. And I don't... In theater, there's this term about earning your pauses. And it has to apply to movies. It's just annoying. And then it like abruptly ended. Like, yeah, you got the end, and then I was like, okay, something's gonna happen. Is he gonna, get out of jail, or something's gonna work out? Nope, black screen. I was like, see, I was really excited for this movie. One, because it did take place in Detroit when I lived there when I was just a kid, though. But two, I really like Matthew McConaughey, and I like his serious stuff, and I really respect him as an actor. But even he was kind of bad in this. And I think it would have made the movie just a little bit more entertaining for me if he had a little more all right in there. Anyway, so out of 36 movies that I've seen so far this year, this is absolutely number 36. I will never watch this movie again. Never will watch this movie again. It was horrible. So yeah, this actually, I guess I would rather watch Den of Thieves again, and I absolutely hated that film before I watch White Boy Rick again. All right, guys, that is it for my review. All right, bye.